go. We've got something a little bit different planned today. Just driven a couple of hours and we're here at Alton Towers. So let's go.
Alright, good morning. As I said before, we're doing something a little bit special today. And we're actually here at Alton Towers Resort. The park itself, all the roller coasters, all the rides and everything is closed at the moment due to the COVID-19 situation and the lockdown. But they're looking to open up in around about 2.5 weeks or so, July 4th to the general public. What they've done at the moment is opened the gardens itself. It is a historic house and you can go around and explore the gardens. So we'll give that a look around and see what we think of it. It's £12 to get in, that includes parking, and this has to be pre-booked online before you come. So you can book the date up to the day before. If you've got an annual pass, it's £1 to get in, and this is just to keep an eye on the numbers that they're having in. But whilst we're parking, honestly, there's not a lot of people here, so it's really not going to be an issue socially distancing. We'll see what it's like inside though, and see what the procedures are like. We've got a couple of safety procedures just here. So we're going to participate in a temperature check. All the employees are going to be wearing PPE. They're going to be cleaning, enhanced cleaning. They want you to keep socially distanced, so you're 2 meters apart. And like I said, you've got to have a pre-booked ticket so they know how many people are in the park. So, got corkscrew just behind us. Let's go on in. So, just having our temperature checked.
36.1, that's normal.
That's alright. Cool. There we go.
Right, have a good day.
Thank you very much. So we've got to go in, we've got to scan our ticket that we purchased online.
That's brilliant. So, just so you know, the toilets are open in the courtyard area.
Okay. Alright, so we've had our temperature checked, we scanned our ticket. We're now here on Towers Street. Eerily quiet, we've got music playing, but there's nobody here really. There's probably about 30 or 40 cars in the car park, you know, so if you think about that, if there's 4 people in each car, you're still only looking at less than 200 people in the park. None of the shops here are open. Nothing's running. It's a little bit different. So we've got a little walk that we can do around the gardens. Obviously with Alton Towers being a historic manor house that you can see just over the lake there, we've got quite a scenic walk that we can go around. Got a couple of areas that we can see. We've got CBeebies Land just over there to our right, and we've got Sonic Spinning Whizball over there as well. And these are all closed, as I said, but it's something that we can see. So we're going to go down to Mutiny Bay, and this is where some of the parts are open for food and drink, but not a lot. We'll note that I'm actually the only one wearing a face mask that I've seen so far, other than the employees. I think everybody's going to be socially distanced today, so it's not too big a deal, but it's just interesting to note. So we've had a little bit of a walk around so far, maybe only 10 minutes or so. As I said before, there's nothing open. The only thing that I've seen so far that's open is a couple of toilets. One disabled toilet right up at the entrance on Tower Street, and then there's a male and female toilet down in Mutiny Bay. That's all that's open. You can get teas and coffees in some places, but other than that, nothing really here. And it's eerie. It's weirdly quiet. We've got the Wicker Man just behind us. Obviously this isn't running right now. They're not even testing it today. But as you can see, this is the back side of the Wicker Man. So this is the first hybrid wooden roller coaster built in the UK in a little while. I've never been on this as it was being built when I last came here, but it's pretty cool. So you got quite a long lift hill there. No inversions on this, with it being a wooden roller coaster. But if I remember correctly, this actually the icon here, the Wicker Man, actually lights up and has smoke coming out of it and things like that. Obviously the tale of the Wicker Man, the film that came out a number of years ago. That being said, we're going to take a walk around the gardens now, see what's to offer, see if we can get some better shots of this. It'd be nice if masks were mandatory. Hopefully that's something that they will implement when they do open the parks properly, but we'll see what those rules are when they come out. At the moment it's looking like July the 4th, so Independence Day for any of you guys watching over from the States, but who knows if the government will allow that. As you can see, there is nobody here at all. No worry about the social distancing. It does give you an opportunity around these kind of parts to take your mask off for a second and have a bit of a breather. It's not hot today, so it's not too big a deal. So when you book on their website, they have a section for a suggested map, and that'll give you sort of an idea of the route that you can take around here. We got signposts up everywhere anyway, so you kind of know where you are. There's no entry sign barriers, but the operations so far are pretty good. Everything I've seen, they did the temperature check, the employees are wearing masks, you're staying 6 feet apart, they scan a ticket on your phone as opposed to, you know, handing over any paper tickets or anything like that. Went to the bathroom, and as I was coming out, there was an employee in there wiping down all the sinks, all the touch points, everything like that. So it seems they have their ops pretty on point. So this is the Gothic Prospect Tower, as you can see behind me. Just step out of the way so you can see it. Pretty cool. You've got some steps just down there. You can walk around and go around the waterfront there, and we can come down and here's the gardens and the palace in all its, not a palace, the home in all its glory. So you've got greenhouses and conservatories and such just down there. So we'll take a walk down there and see what's down there in its entirety. We'll just come down a few steps and we've got a little Goblin Hole here. It's a bit hard, bit of a steep drop. Oh. Thing is, you don't really get to explore these areas all too often. It's like a little cave. Most of the time you're down here, there's tons of people. That's the drop that we just came in on. So we're now in the wilderness, so to speak. We're just making our way down to the gardens. So, as you can see, the gardens are quite well maintained. Got all these little archways here. Still, there's not many people. I've seen probably about 20-25 people since I've been here. So again, that'll give you an idea of how many people are actually in the park today. And I imagine a lot of them are annual pass holders as well, so they are only paying £1 to get in, and it makes you wonder whether it's worthwhile for Alton Towers to be doing this. But it gives you a chance to explore places that you wouldn't normally be exploring. When you come to a theme park, you don't typically think to be going into the gardens and walking around, things like that, when you've paid £50 per ticket, or $70 a ticket. Throughout 2014 to 2018, nearly £2 million was invested in the Alton Towers Resort, just for the history and heritage. So that'd be a case of restoring these, maintaining the gardens, and just keeping everything up to shape that doesn't involve the theme park itself. And it is really nice. It's very pretty. It is very well maintained. You can only do this if you're short. You can go through without ducking down. It does help in some cases. More fountains and things like that. This has been out of service for a little while. But it's so pretty. Just one thing to note, the Alton Towers Gardens aren't very accessibility friendly, disabled friendly, however you want to put it. They're not very accessible. So, as you can see, pretty steep steps. There's some areas that you can go around at the top that you don't have to go down any steps to get through, but it's just one thing to bear in mind. You'll often find that with these historical gardens and National Trust areas, they're not very accessible due to the history involved in them. It just wasn't what was done back in the day, so to speak. So we've got a bandstand over there. There's people over there, so we're not going to go over there. Got like a gazebo, everything. We're going to head down here, and we're making our way right down to the bottom of the gardens. Made it to the bottom of the gardens at this point, and got this fountain behind us. Unfortunately, there's no sign to see or say what it is even, sorry. But one thing of note, I've just seen my first person with a face mask on, although she wasn't wearing it correctly. She had it under her nose, which actually defeats the point. We're going to make our way back up to the top of the gardens now. see if there's any other little sights and sounds that we have missed. I don't think there is, but I haven't been following the suggested route like I said you should at the beginning, so my bad. But this is a pretty cool fountain. It's very fancy, somewhat kind of Asian, Scandinavian vibe to it, like a combination. But yeah, let's head back up to the top of the gardens now. So I just stopped a second to have a look at the map and see sort of roughly where I was. What we just saw was the Pagoda fountain. So it's just recently been restored. It's grade 2 listed Chinese pagoda fountain. Took 3 months to restore, and it was initially completed in 1832. It's been around nearly 200 years. It's pretty crazy. But with that, we're going to head, like I said, back up the top and see what else we can find. Right, we've got the smallest, skinniest staircase I've seen. And then we've got this overhang here. Got the bandstand to our right at the moment, but there are people there. So as I said before, I'm not going to go over there. This is pretty cool though. It's as I've said a couple of times, I'm repeating myself here, but it's cool to be able to explore these places when there's no one around. So you don't get this opportunity often. This looks creepy as well. So let's go up to the tower ruins, and see if we can get into X sector as well, or close to X sector. More stairs. There is an accessible route I've seen on the map. Obviously it's significantly shorter than the suggested route, but at least it's there. Alright, so we're in a little bit of a gloomy, spooky part of the forest, just behind the conservatories now. And if we turn this way, we're heading back up to like Mutiny Bay kind of area at the moment. We've got this section here that they're calling Stonehenge. It's very similar to the Stonehenge up in Aylesbury and things like that. So pretty cool. And then if we go through this path, we are back at Mutiny Bay. We can hear the fountains go in the little pirate ship area where the swan boats used to be. As you can see, we've got the pirate ship area here. All of these are on. They've got some sanitizer dispensers stationed throughout. This is a bit of a wet ride. People can spray you by paying money. That's why we've got the dryers here for £2. Battle Galleon it's called. So obviously can't go in, that would be the typical entrance. This gives you a bit of an overview of the ride itself. So you take one of those little boats that you can see just in front of us, you go around doing little tasks, and then you can get sprayed with water just here. Alright, so we've come back right up to the top, out of the gardens now. We've had an Oasis, had a Solero, trademarked both those. There's only one place open to get food and drink. There's only one set of toilets open. I'm just walking through the corridor now to the X sector. We've got some music playing, There's nobody else around though, so if you want to come out, this place is open until the 4th of July like this, and then it'll go back into pretty much normal operations from there, other than the social distancing, reduced capacity, that kind of thing, but the gardens just on their own won't be open. So let's head up to X Sector. We've got the Smiler behind us. Obviously it's not in operation at the moment. We've got the screens on, and we've got a couple of guys up on the lift hill doing some work, keeping it operational and keeping it in good shape. So over at the back we've also got Oblivion as well, which is just behind this tree. You can't really see it too much, but it's pretty cool. There's no music on, which is probably for the best because the music here is pretty creepy. But this holds a number of records, 14 total inversions, and just give you an overview. As you can see, it's a 2.5 minute ride, 14 inversions and a 30-meter drop. So it's a pretty good roller coaster. There are some videos online from on the ride or watching the ride go around, so go online and check them out. Fantastic roller coaster if you get a chance to do it. But yeah, so we've had a look around the park, we've had a look around the gardens, and it's been pretty cool. Like I said before, it's £12 to get in, £1 if you've got an annual pass, just so they know about your reservations, and definitely worth coming up here and checking it out. It's open until the 4th of July like this, and then they go back into the operations of the park as a whole, social distanced, reduced capacity, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. I'm going to try and get up here for that as well. There's one more section that's kind of half open. We can't get close to the actual ride, but I mentioned it before, and that's Spinball Whizzer, sorry. This used to be Sonic Spinball Whizzer, I think. But coming up here, kind of give you an idea of like the social distancing measures they might have in place. You see the yellow arrows on the ground here, and this is probably going to be how they socially distance you in the queue. The ride looks a little bit tired, if I'm honest. A little bit rusty in places, needs a repaint. But this is a very cool wild mouse coaster. Hopefully that'll be throughout the queue. It seems that they haven't painted it on every section so far, but that'll be what it's like. Just a few more little bits and pieces. The whole of Mutiny Bay, other than one food stand, is closed. Literally everything. And other than really a couple of areas in the queue lines, there's not any social distancing markers inside of the park itself. It's just trying to look around and see what we can see. But we're, 18 days, 19 days away from reopening of the parks, and maybe they've got a lot to do in order to get the social distancing up to scratch. So that's pretty much everything that we've seen. I'll show you what I mean. Everything is closed, so there's no hot food or anything like that you can have. This is one thing that's pretty cool. They've got an aquarium here inside the park as well, which is pretty awesome. As I said, they've got a lot to do in terms of getting the social distancing guidelines in place. they're going to need to put markers for all of these potential queue areas, so people will be 6 feet away from each other. I don't know about all of the queue lines. They could be doing that in the areas at the back of the park where we can't go right now because they are closed off. The only areas we've been able to see are by the Wicker Man, and we haven't been able to see the queue of that. Spinner Whizball and the Smiler. So it could be that they're doing social distancing markers in some places. We've also got like a Pirate's Teacup ride here, Marauders Mayhem, and they've got some more arrows in the queue again. Now these arrows could be because they're always here, or it could be because of the social distancing guidelines. I don't know, but they do look to be spaced around about 2 meters apart, so this will be interesting. Some of the prizes you can win: you got your Eevee, your Pikachu, and your Squirtle that you can win, and these weird hamster looking things. And just above we've got the sky ride that goes from one side of the park to the other. Right, so that's the end of our adventure at Alton Towers and the Alton Towers Gardens for today. Hopefully you've seen enough to maybe trust come back to the park. They've got all the social distancing markers in the entrance area here, so that's pretty cool. You know, it gives me a little bit of confidence. We've got 2.5 weeks or so until they open again, so it'll be an interesting time. So if you've enjoyed the video, thanks for watching along. Hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified when we post a new video, and see you on the other side.